Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the National Rock Racing Association race number 4 here at Rush Off-Road Park in Kentucky. This weekend is presented by SuperGrip, so a huge thank you and shout out to them and to all of our sponsors for helping us do what we do. Matt, give us a little rundown on what we're looking at out here.
Yeah, so we've been walking the course for a while, checking it out. We've raced at this park for, I think EB said it was 2012 was when they had their grand opening. We've raced here. I've raced here since 2017, and we've raced different sides of this mountain. We've raced the front side, we've raced the back side, had different layouts. We've had different terrain. I've raced here when it's really dusty. Here lately, last couple of years, it's been a little more wet.
Yeah, I haven't seen any dust out here in a very long time.
So I think that's going to come into play. We are hearing some more R word coming in a little later, it sounds like, around 1 or 2. So I think we're going to try to do some racing. Maybe during our intermission, we can have the rain come in, hopefully be gone, and then we kick off our second course. Or it may happen during our live show, so stay tuned for that. You may get to see
what happens. You know what? I think we have some of the toughest spectators and fans of any sport out there to come and put up with this kind of weather and do it with a smile on their face, because we're out here, we're having a good time here at Rush Off-Road. Thank you guys for joining us on Hillside Live. I see a lot of people tuning in already, so welcome to the show. And we are just about ready to start things off with our SuperGrip UTV stock class. And, Matt, I think we're ready to head to the line.
Yeah, I think we are.
Let's go see who's kicking things off for us.
Head down to that race line starting gate. All right, sounds like we got Mr. Robert Trainer down there sitting at that race line starting gate.
All right, guys, y'all get ready. Everybody get to your seats, grab what you got. We're about to get this thing kicked off. We got racers on the line. Clyde's working.
I think they got about everybody in there. Sounds like they got some of our racers down there lined up. Again, this is our UTV stock class we'll be doing first. Then after that, we'll run with the bounty. Or, I'm sorry, the UTV Cup Series. Again, we'll run 2 different UTV classes today.
Here we go. First driver of the day on the course.
And as me and Bree were talking about this morning, this will be a very muddy course. Again, these are stock-ish vehicles. Definitely doing a little sliding out there.
Oh.
We've seen a lot of guys out pre-running this morning and I guess last night. They were having trouble with this. They did bring the excavator in and straighten it up a little bit just because some of the guys were having some issues with it. And our amateur class will be racing tomorrow through this.
And Robert Trainer did have a second-place finish at our last race at Hot Springs. He's also coming into the weekend second in points right now in the stock class with 267 points. And he's got a great smooth run going right now on course 1.
Again, if you notice, if this feels like a long course, that's because it is. Lots of uphill, lots of downhill. Again, you can see him running that kind of ridge line, that access road in the middle of the course. You can see a lot of yellow tape up there where they'll be going up and down. And a lot of our racers we've talked to like the longer course. Gets you some more seat time, gets a little more feel. Again, kind of showcases that all-around racer a little better.
Well, also when you spend hours on the road getting to the event, hours prepping for the event, it's nice to be in the driver's seat for a little more than 30 seconds.
Yeah, it is. And again, like I said, a little uphill, a little downhill, some turns, some jumps.
All right, he's at the top of that hill.
Definitely having a good time.
Up that hill.
I said, you guys hear the name Trainer a lot. His son, Mr. Ramsey Trainer, also races with us in our youth class. That Rowdy Boy race team. That is a rough, steep climb out the top of that hill. And these guys are literally covering every square inch of this Mickey Thompson Mountain up here. Again, watching that kind of quick but calculated descent there down the hill. Again, got to be very careful.
It looks like we're going to have a finish. Y'all give a big round of applause. Our first contestant paving the way. It's always hard to be first man out. What we got sitting on the line?
That's a 134.319 for Mr. Robert Trainer, and he is our very first racer of the weekend. This is our UTV stock class. We have a long weekend of racing. We're just kicking off, as Bree said, the 4th race of the National Rock Racing Association. And then we'll also be racing again next weekend down in Oklahoma. Fiddler's Bend. That'll be a first-time racing there for us.
All right, Bert Savvy is out on the course. Very first race of the year, Bert had a really unfortunate run-in with a tree stump.
He did.
He got a whole lot of views off that video. Got some mileage out of that one.
It did. And if you're gonna have an unexpected day, you at least want to get some cool views out of it.
There you go. Missed his turn a little bit, but I think he's got it figured out. I hope everybody's been studying their course maps for the weekend because, like Matt was saying earlier, there are lots of turns, lots to remember on this long course out here this weekend.
Again, you can see them coming out that last long, big run before they head back. Again, it's a very long, slimy climb up that Mickey Thompson Mountain. And there are this hill is literally littered with flags to help keep everybody kind of halfway lined out. Again, we have course maps that Clyde puts in the season driver group, which we can go and study. Usually he does that about Wednesday, so we can kind of look at it Thursday at the latest, kind of check them out. And the flags do help you sometimes when you're looking for a turn, double checking.
Yeah, those aren't only up there to show off our sponsors and their wonderful logos. They are there to help guide the drivers around the course.
And we're very thankful for those. When you're a high-speed section ripping through there, you are very thankful for those. Again, shout out to Dearborn Drone Co. for providing us some awesome drone footage this weekend. Again, you can see kind of how rocky some of that dirt section is to really keep them, definitely keep them honest as they're ripping through these hills.
And it looks like our stock class does have the option of either going on that left trail that we saw Robert Trainer kind of give a go at it at first, and then he switched over to that right side that Bert just made his way up. So they've got that option at the top of the hill, which is always a nice thing to have.
Yeah, that left side looks a little easier except for that lip at the top, but I think that kind of bucks you up and kills your momentum. So I think we might see a lot of guys take that right side more often.
But guess what, Matt? It is all downhill for here. Come on, Bert Savvy, to the finish line. There it is.
See what that time is going to be.
With a 173.008. If you're just joining us online, welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in with us here on Hillside Live. We are 2 drivers into our SuperGrip UTV stock class. Course 1, Robert Trainer with a 134, and Bert Savvy just wrapping up with a 173. We are here at Rush Off-Road Park in, what are we, northeastern Kentucky?
Yeah, eastern.
I don't know. Let's follow the GPS.
Eastern Kentucky. We're not too far from Richmond, Kentucky, where I went to EKU at, so I'm very familiar with eastern area. We stayed in Lexington last night, goofed around a little bit there.
I know it's the part of Kentucky that's further away from my Middle Tennessee area.
Yes. How far a drive was it for you?
I think it's about 6 hours up here.
That's not too bad.
5.5, 6.
They're checking the course, make sure the course is clear. Again, shout out to all our course workers that came out and put all these flags up. Again, there is a hill just littered with these flags. And again, that's very thankful for the guys that have to go up and down. It's very nice to know, okay, this flag I got to turn right, this flag I got to turn left. So it's very handy to make sure you know exactly where you're going. The racers are very thankful for the people that come out and slug away and pull all these flags up for us.
Yeah, that's definitely a lot of flags to put up on the hill. And we got to give a shout-out, as always, to our staff and volunteers for all their hard work in helping getting these courses set up, and the park staff as well for hosting us so well in this great event area out here this weekend. Where's everybody watching from that's joining us online right now? I see a few of our regulars checking in with us here. What's up, everybody?
Appreciate all our online viewers tuning in. What's up, Ninja Pat? Enjoy life. Some of our regulars hopping in there in the live chat. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Again, that YouTube channel is Rock Racing TV for you guys that are walking out. We appreciate everybody hopping on live. Some of our comments sometimes are just absolutely delight my day. They're pretty. They can be very silly and very ornery sometimes, and it just cracks me up. So I appreciate all of our guys tuning in.
We do have fun with the chat in the live feed. And as Matt mentioned, we are on YouTube. So if you're used to joining us on Facebook, make sure y'all are switching over to that Rock Racing TV YouTube channel instead. That is where the racing action is going to live for the rest of the season from here on out.
All righty, clock's hot coming from Clyde. Brandon Jackson sitting on the line. Let's see if we
and you definitely don't want to miss those AMSOIL's action shots.
Here we go with Brandon Jackson on the course.
Ooh, it is definitely slick and slimy on these hills. There we go. We've had a 134 and a 173 so far. I'm curious to see what our fast time is going to be today.
We definitely got a great lineup of drivers in all of our classes this weekend. Lots of great racing to come here at Rush, Kentucky.
See what line he's going to take there. Again, there's a couple options there you can pick from. There we go, out the top.
Uh-oh, I think he might have tagged a tree at the top. There he is.
Ethan Cobb, make your way over.
Nice smooth run, just a really good smooth run. Again, you can see him kind of coming down the hill. Just use a little bit of brakes there as it's kind of slick and slimy. Nice round of applause for the crowd there.
We got Jonathan Cash, the famous drifter. Jeremy's added him to the team. He got a little wet out here, so we thought he could do a little drifting. We're going to see what he can do in the hill killing. Y'all give it up for him. Slippery place, and if he's a drift car driver, he'll be right at home. Let's see how he fares out here off-road. He's used to being on pavement. He's a pavement princess. He broke the front end already.
All right, this was Jonathan Hurst running for Dan Carter's points, but it looks like that tire is not pointing in the right direction, Matt.
Something is not right.
This one is cool. Y'all give it up for John Cash making a nice pass at 12 feet. He figured either would put Clayton.
I'm not sure exactly what happened. I don't hit that. Could crack something earlier, but finally let go. But he had definitely broke, I'm going to say, a tie rod there.
You know when the front tires look like they're a little cross-eyed, that's never a good sign.
Bit of a disagreement. I think that was Justin Holback down there helping him get him straightened out. Justin's pretty hard to miss. He's like a 6'6", pretty sturdy fella. All right, we got Clay Kaysen out there.
Clay is running for Jay Stort's points today. Matt, tell us why Clay's out here instead of Jay.
So, some mistakes were made.
Some trees were found.
Yeah, it was more like what I would call a miscalculation. It was a bit of a miscalculation maybe on Jay's part would be a great way to put it. Unfortunately, he just gently, ever so slightly touched the tree in the air, and it happened in air. For those of you who don't see the video, I think the Jay Storts Racing page, he had posted a couple of different videos. I think one of them had 1.5 million views, and one had like 1.8 million views last time I saw it. He ripped the whole front of the buggy clean off of it. It was not supposed to be a detachable front end. But
the breakaway front end.
Yeah, breakaway front end. It did not, was not supposed to be, but it became that way. And luckily, we all checked on Jay immediately. He's like, no, I'm fine. He's like, I think the front end took all the abuse. And I'm like, I concur. I believe you.
Luckily for him.
Yeah.
But he's got a great stunt driver filling in for him this weekend with Clay Kaysen. And looks like Clay's trying to figure out his line going up the hill right now. Clay has been dominating our Cup class so far this season. See if he can come over here and give brother Cody a little extra competition. There it is. With a 107.362 for Clay Kaysen running for Jay Storts.
And again, speaking of Jay Storts, ripping that vehicle off, he is our skinny pedal winner from Hot Springs. Had a very wild ride. So shout out to Jay. At least he gets to take him some hardware from that event. Again, not the award I think he wanted to win, but Ninja Pat said the tree got redemption on Jay. Jay cuts trees for a living and does firewood. I believe this is Daniel Heckley out there, taking out that race line starting gate.
He's in that Can-Am. Keep it nice and sleek.
Ooh, out there sliding around that corner.
Yeah. Nice.
Again, you can see how kind of loose that section is there. They came with an excavator and kind of churned it up a little bit to make it easier, but it's definitely something you need a lot of horsepower for. Getting nice smooth run so far. Again, you can see the yellow tape also up there that kind of helps guide the racers when you're flying through, bouncing around. The tape kind of helps point you in the right direction, and again, racers are very, very thankful for that.
All right, so Daniel's taking to the first line, which we saw the first contestant go up.
Ooh, is Daniel going to be the first one to make it up that left side?
Stay on it if he's going to move
I think if you just bring enough momentum in, it'll carry it. But again, there is that little lip right there.
There it is.
And it looks like he was able to do it. Again, I think that's definitely going to speed your time up. Now, at one of our races, we have a great section of racers today. One of those guys is going to be able to one-shot it. I know they're all down there watching. That last downhill section there, you can tell, is really slick.
All right, let's check that time.
That's a 103.159 for Mr. Daniel Heckley.
And that is our current leader here. Course 1 for the SuperGrip UTV stock class. Daniel Heckley in the lead with a 103, followed by Clay Kaysen with a 107, Robert Trainer with a 134, and Bert Sevi with a 173. And Dylan Dowler now in that race line. Starting gate.
That almost neon-looking orange there always definitely is very iconic.
Dylan had a third-place finish at our last race at Hot Springs, and he's coming into the weekend 5th in points right now. Actually, he and Coy Chapel are tied 4th and 5th place right now with 237 points each. Man. We'll see how they change things up.
These guys are literally just pinning up this. And again, a very kind of easy-looking hill here, and these guys are having a lot of trouble and just literally holding it wide open to climb it.
Today is the day if you like some wide open driving.
Yeah.
Not a lot of traction, get a lot of wheel speed.
We were talking this morning, and I said, I think I almost like a little section like this where you can get that wheel speed, not necessarily without braking too much, but just being able to get out there and just hold it, pin it, make some nice traction. Again, the mud has played havoc a little bit this morning. I think it's going to dry out as long as the rain holds off, but we'll see how that plays out. Dylan coming in.
He's going for the left side.
Oh, had great momentum. Kind of tagged a tree a little bit there. Oh, so close.
Oh, and there's that tree again.
Yeah.
All right, dude, quit dilly-dallying.
Dilly-dallying. He backed in that tree, and I don't know if he can get off of it.
Uh-oh.
Dang it.
That's always a tough spot to be when you're hung up on a tree and from any direction.
Yeah. Dang it. You hate to see that. Yeah. Dang it.
Oh, man.
Again, Dylan has been an absolute, it looks like everything's spinning. It's just, unfortunately, he's kind of high-centered in the back and not really able to get the traction that he wants.
That's frustrating. I mean, I wouldn't know anything about that, Matt. I've definitely never had that happen before. I'm sure you probably haven't either.
Me never.
Yeah, I can just imagine. That's all. I can just imagine that.
Just pretend. We'll just pretend.
I've never smoked my tires before trying to get unstuck.
To get unstuck, yeah. Dang it. And again, he had a definitely a fierce competitor, great race season at Wildcat, came around a corner and just kind of tipped over a little bit.
Oh, yes.
And I talked to his dad later,
so
and he's
sad.
like, he was so frustrated. And I said, we've all been there. Made like a silly mistake, come into a corner a little too hot and steamy, and just can't quite get it done. I think he backed up enough now to where his bumper's actually hooked on it. It looks like that back bumper's actually hooked on the tree.
Yeah, he's all kinds of hung up.
And I don't know if he can get enough traction to actually plow the tree backwards.
He's trying.
Yeah, he's working on it. Again, dang it. You hate that. You know he's got to be super frustrated. Again, shout out to all of our online viewers. Appreciate me hopping in the chat there. I saw some locations earlier.
Yeah.
Over in Western Ohio.
Let's see what we got here.
North Carolina. I was just in North Carolina last weekend. Went out to Rockingham Speedway and watched a NASCAR event. Got to watch the Truck Series. That was really cool. And then the next night we went to a very wild race. It was a pretty good time at a local asphalt track. It was insane. It was a lot of fun. Sounds
a lot cleaner than what we're doing.
Yes, it was. It was much cleaner. Yes, a little warmer, but much cleaner. Yes, went out there and hung up with my buddy Justin Wills. He races a Pro 4 truck. Used to race Angry Barney, and so got to hang out with him and a handful of his crew. Daniel Pierman was out there. It was a pretty good time. Definitely shenanigans were had.
I am not surprised.
It was a pretty good time. It was my first time ever being in North Carolina, so that was kind of awesome. Flew into Charlotte. Nice airport. Murfreesboro.
That's right.
Go Trainers.
I represent.
Monticello, Kentucky. That's like Monticello, I think that's like 20 minutes away from here.
All right, guys, they are going to keep working on getting Dylan recovered off the hill. While they do that, we are going to cut to a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back with more of that UTV stock racing action.
So we have 3 different beadlock wheels that most of our guys use. We have the teardrop, we have the twisted, and then we have the twisted black. So we have a machine version of the twisted, then we have the black. We have these in 14 and 15 inch. All 4 lug. We will be coming out with, in addition to some of the tires I was talking about earlier that we're coming out with, we're going to have a new line of wheels come out. Some of those will be 5 lug to keep up with some of the new manufacturing that's happening in the UTV world. But the beadlock wheels that we're selling right now, Rock Life and those guys carry these as well. So right now we're having some specials on them. So I'd recommend if you need a set of beadlocks, you're not going to find any cheaper than those.
If AMSOIL products are engineered for this kind of punishment, you can trust them in your garage. Shop by vehicle to find everything you need for your ride. Get the protection you demand and performance you deserve with fast, free shipping from AMSOIL.com.
All right, we're back there sitting at Race Line starting gate. Again, we have so far our first recovery of the day. Luckily, it was a pretty simple recovery. They said Dylan hooked up his own winch and just winched off the tree. I'm like, that's convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
We always appreciate a self-recovery.
Yeah, look, he's trying to be efficient. We appreciate it.
We've got Dean Roberts on the line now.
I'm sure he was mad at it. Probably just threw it down the hill. But Dylan pulling over there in the background.
We do hate that for Dylan. He's had some rough luck in the stock class.
And he's an amazing racer.
But he's still got cut class, so. All right, let's see what Dean Roberts can do. With a last name like Roberts, do you think he's about to steal a fast time from these guys?
Well played, Bree. Well played.
You know I can't resist, Matt.
I know. Dad joke extraordinaire.
All right, let's see if he makes the
Again, we've seen the first few racers come flying up there. Everybody else has kind of slowed down a little bit, checked up a little bit, and that way they could make that turn a little faster. Again, I know there was a handful of guys down there watching each run.
All right, curious to see which line he picks.
Like
not even going to play around with the left side.
And made a quick pass. That's going to be a nice quick time.
The time to beat right now is a 103 from Daniel Heckley, followed by a 107 from Clay Kaysen.
This is going to be close. Because there's some ledges over there on that downhill section. You want to definitely...
Let's see what he got.
Ooh. Wow. That's impressive.
82.135 from Dean Roberts. Matt, you called it earlier that having a the fastest time was going to come down to who could one-shot up that little section of the hill that we saw Dylan get hung up on. They've got the option to go left or right there. Dean handled that spot really well and got away with a quick time.
Yeah.
So at 82, now followed by that 103 from Daniel and 107 from Clay.
And I know he had just a nice smooth run all around. It was just all the turns were clean, all the hills were nice. This next guy, Mr. Cody Kaysen, I saw him out playing this morning, and Cody is definitely going to try to fix that. He was hitting several of these hills at pretty much full tilt speed. So
well, Cody is coming into this weekend. No. Oh no! Well, he's got a 39-point lead coming into this weekend with 306 points. He won our last race at Hot Springs in the stock class. He's definitely been setting off some super fast runs this season.
Hear him kind of feathering that gas as he's coming around. He's even sliding up there on the little access road.
We got some Lightning McQueen action going on today. Oh, and he's going for the left side. Making it look easy.
Wow. That's going to be a quick
There's a reason why he is our current champ.
Man. See what his downhill section looks like. He's coming pretty quick.
Cody definitely did his homework.
Yeah. I had a little bobble in the front. Let's see what that's going to leave him at. Man, 87.460, just right behind Dean Roberts. Dang it. Yeah, I really thought that was going to be faster than he too, just because he was sending it so hard around everything else.
Yeah, Dean just had a really smooth, no backups, just flawless run. We've still got about half of our list of drivers to go for course one. This is Don Curtis right now.
And you might remember Don from he's our inaugural season champ of our VIN class. I was teasing him last week. I was like, when are you guys going to build a bouncer? And he's like, we're working on it. He's like, I'm going to convince my mom. I was like, I hear you. I got one of those too. Don checking up a little bit on his ledges.
Don comes all the way from Osage City, Kansas to race with us.
He's hitting it all the way up the hill.
He's staying in the gas.
I don't know if his front end's pulling.
Man, it sure looked like he was in two-wheel drive hauling up that hill.
Yeah, he was full tilt, and I don't know if his front end's pulling. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's both front ends, so it's going to be either a drive shaft or a diff.
And unfortunately, this is not a two-wheel drive course.
No. Dang it. You hate for that. Again, Don Curtis definitely going out there and sending it, but unfortunately not able to finish right now. Hopefully they can fix whatever's wrong with it and come out and compete on that second course, but this is definitely not a two-wheel drive hill. I feel like he's getting a little Jack Porter here. He's like, you know what? All the rules are out the book. We're just going to send it.
Uh-oh. You never know what's going to happen when you go all Jack Porter
You don't. I've seen Jack Porter do things in two-wheel drive that I wasn't sure if I could do in four-wheel drive. He's like, better make it 2 football fields. Let's just back up a little more.
He's not ready to call it quits.
And I've seen Jack make it, too. That's the crazy part.
We might see Don make it.
Come on, get up there. There we go.
Stay in it, Don.
He may be able to finish this hill.
Uh-oh.
Who'd have thought it? All you gotta do is put it in four-wheel drive.
Can he back up there to get enough momentum? Come on. Oh, so close.
It's not from lack of trying.
So close.
It's just slippery up there. It's been a perfect mixture of rain and some looseness on that hill. One more good run right here, and he should be able to get after it. Let's go.
Come on. I think he's got it. There we go. Out the top. I love it. That is so awesome. That is impressive. Heck of a run here by
Not
Mr.
gonna
Don
lie,
Curtis.
I didn't think we were gonna see Don rolling through the finish line. With a 2:43.003 and a whole lot of perseverance from Don Curtis.
Definitely sending it. All right, we got Coy Chappelle sitting on our race line starting gate.
Also known as Coy Chapel.
I also call him the other teal buggy driver. He started laughing.
Does he know that?
Yeah. Yeah, I was calling this morning. I said he's the driver of the other teal buggy. He has a really, really great looking wrap this season. Again, you guys can notice it with that kind of golden cage. It's a very, very sharp looking buggy. Again, a lot of our buggies have done really great graphics. They have some great colors. The powder coating is flawless.
Well, the teal must be helping him drive faster, Matt. He had a 4th place finish at our last race at Hot Springs, and he's coming into the weekend 4th in points, actually tied in points with Dylan Dowler with 237. We'll see how that shakes out, though, after Dylan had a DNF right now on course 1 already.
And he's got a nice smooth run going here. See if we can hang on to it.
The time to beat right now is an 82 from Dean Roberts, followed by an 87 from Cody Kaysen, and a 103 from Daniel Heckley.
Again, I talked to Coy a little bit this morning in chat about what his plan was, and they were all thinking about what the weather was going to do, too. That was going to speculate on how the course might change or modify what their plan is. So, again, that pesky weather sets in. Things can change quickly. See if he can one-shot it here. Get up there.
Nice.
Again, this long downhill section on this Mickey Thompson Mountain has definitely helped some guys pick up some speed here, but there's a couple ledges that are just kind of violent almost.
Let's check that time.
That's a 94.648 from Mr. Coy Chapel. Getting a great quick time.
Yeah, third place time.
Not quite fast enough to pick up that first one, but an amazing time. Again, this is course 1, so they will have a chance to pick up some more points on course 2. Help them shake out a little higher position for the day.
I believe we've got 4 drivers left for course 1 of SuperGrip UTV stock, and then we'll be heading into our Cup class.
Got Brandon Davis down there. That race line starting gate. And the little Can-Am that could.
Oh, it's the Can-Am that can now. She got a facelift. She got a body lift.
Yeah.
She got everything.
That new chassis is definitely, he said the first thing we talked to him, he's like, well, I can actually turn left now. And I'm like, yeah. He is flying through there. Again, that is a sharp turn there to go right up and flip him right back down. Brandon doing a great job. He is sending it.
Oh, no.
No.
Nope.
Oh, dang it. He was so close.
Let's go, Brandon. Y'all get loud for
I thought for sure he was going to have that.
Is it?
Yeah, the left.
Is it pulling?
Driver's side front looks like it's not pulling. He might be able to back up. And again, we saw Robert.
This is really a shame.
Robert kind of shoot that side initially and had a pretty good smooth run. Man. And Don Curtis was able to kind of squeak through, so hopefully Brandon can get enough momentum. And it looks like, dang it.
Oh.
Again, shout out to Dearborn Drone Co. for having this awesome footage here we're watching. Again, you can see the guys up there, our course workers helping coach him up. He was so close. Oh, Brandon had radios for a while. I'm sure Cheryl's like, you can do it. Get up there.
Brandon's considering his life choices right now.
Yeah. As he would say, is my smoking hot wife going to make me sleep on the couch if I don't make this? That's what he's thinking right now. Hopefully he can snag this. Again, with enough momentum, I think you can roll in. Man, it looks like he's able to get up, just not quite finish the top there. But again, having a slow time as far as points go is a huge advantage to end up in the DNF. So even with a broken axle, he can still squeak out some points here. That'd be a great day for him.
Yeah, Brandon coming into the weekend third in points, 1 point behind Robert Trainer.
Oh.
267 and 266.
He's definitely going to try to hang on to that again. 1 point behind Robert, man. Walking down and check on him. Looks like they're looking behind it. You might be just seeing if anything's behind him, or I say it might be something broke in the buggy.
Looks like we got Steve Stosberg up there, lending a hand. Once again, thank you to all of our staff and volunteer recovery and course workers for helping us keep things moving smoothly and keeping all of our drivers safe while we're out here and being quick to the scene whenever help is needed. We definitely appreciate that and couldn't do these events without them.
Oh, man.
Oh, we're here and
sounds like he has a clutch that's locked up, so it's not allowed him to start. Keith is up there, the guy in the blue shirt. Keith, our recovery expert, said
broken axle.
Yeah, broken axle, and sounds like the clutch locked up maybe. Again, he was clearly sending it with everything that little buggy had. So.
Oh, it's back to being the little Can-Am that wanted to.
It really wanted to. Dang it, it wanted to
just
so bad.
Quite do it. I believe we've got 3 drivers left once we've got Brandon recovered off the hill for course 1 of the SuperGrip UTV stock class.
Dang it. You hate that. You hate that for Brandon. That had a great run going. We've had a couple weird DNFs here. Man, dang it. You hate to see that happen. Again, you have to get winched up the hill.
Well, looking ahead to our next race, which is going to be next weekend already. We got 2 back-to-back here. We will be at Fiddler's Bend, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Next weekend. Our first time racing there. I haven't been there before, Matt. Have you?
I have not. I'm with everybody else. I'm excited to go there. I heard Clyde's going to get there a few days early to help get all the course lined up since it's our first time racing there, and make sure they have everything ready. The parking area for the racers and camping area, spectator area.
Yeah, I've heard some cool things about the park, and maybe like a river or something. They've got like a creek or something there you can float in. I'm not sure. We'll find out when we get there.
Are we jumping over it, racing through it? What's the?
I think it's more of a take an inner tube and float down it kind of situation.
I see.
But I'm not sure. We'll all find out together next weekend.
I know Clyde likes to throw some some wrenches in sometimes for us. So
you never know. Bring your snorkel.
Yeah. I feel like if you're snorkeling, things have went horribly, horribly wrong. Regardless of whether you go through it or jump it, if you're snorkeling, things have gone horribly wrong.
Bad decisions.
Yeah. All right. Sounds like we're getting a course clear. Sounds like they got them pulled up and winched out of the way. Then shout out to Keith for helping get us all lined up there.
We are finalizing that recovery. Just about got the course clear. And we are awaiting our next competitor to come to the line.
Yeah. Some days it'd be like that, Bree. And it doesn't, and again, the course doesn't look super crazy. And there's times where we've had that. We're like, oh, today's not going to be a crazy day. And then it turns out to be just, I think everybody kind of oversimplifies it. And so it ends up having little bugs.
Sometimes that's when we get the wildest and weirdest recoveries that happen.
We've had courses before where I'm like, this doesn't look bad. Next thing you know, we got like, 80% DNFs. I'm like, what happened? Like, this is like crazy.
You can't underestimate it. Looks like we've got Cohen Ellison on the line now. Cohen comes out of Clanton, Alabama to race with us in that 2020 Razor Turbo XP built by Boggs Welding and Fabrication. And this is Cohen's first full season to race with us. Only got to do a handful of races last year.
That Ellison race crew was our feature driver Friday last week. Appreciate all the Ellison race crew. I know they raced like a handful of vehicles in like a dozen different classes.
All right, we're coming down. Track's getting a little tacky.
Cohen's been doing a great job racing with some very consistent runs. Also, this Razor's doing double duty with Sister Sadie running it in the team class as well.
Yeah, they have the Elephant crew gives a workout to their vehicles.
Stay in it.
Oh.
He's got it.
Wow, that's
Nicely
a
done.
rough little section there. But a nice smooth run.
Nicely done, Cohen. Let's see what that time is.
What's that? 98.700 for Cohen Ellison.
That's not bad at all. That is a 4th place time right now on course 1. All right, we've got Zach Carter on the line now. The time to beat is an 82 still from Dean Roberts, followed by 87 from Cody Kaysen, a 94 from Coy Chappell, and a 98 from Cohen Ellison.
He is ripping through the floor. Again, making that turn is super sharp. Looks like he had to stop back up there.
Blasting through those super grip steps.
There was something making a lot of noise not front end when he came around.
That's when you just turn the radio up louder and pretend you don't hear anything.
I love it. Yeah, we're going to turn the radio up. No big deal. It's cool.
What noise?
All right, let's see if we can one shot this thing.
Oh, tree. Just so you guys know, if you wonder why the drivers so frequently might back into a tree, when you are fully strapped in with your 5-point harness and your Hans device on, the visibility is really limited. You can't just turn your head and look around. Some drivers do have a backup camera or mirror, but a lot of times it's just really limited visibility when you're fully strapped in for safety. Then you gotta do your best with what you're backing up into. And that was a 106.407 for Zach Carter. This is our last driver for course 1 of the SuperGrip UTV stock class. It is Justin Hoback. And our featured drivers on this Friday are the Hoback Racing members. We've got Justin, and then his kids, Clara and Collier, will be racing in our youth class tomorrow as well. So we are repping the Hoback Racing team for our featured driver Friday this weekend.
They have some cool merch. I like the orange and the pink. Very, very neat. That Clara and... Oh, okay. He slowed up, checked up a little bit there. I thought he was going to pause.
Justin's also going to be racing in the limited bouncer class tomorrow. New for this season. Seeing him in a bouncer, that's been a lot of fun. He's raced just about every other class with us over the years.
There he goes. Yeah, I'm rocking Collier's. Bree's rocking Claire's.
You got the orange, I got the pink.
Love it. Kind of cool shirts.
We got to give a shout out to the Hobacks, of course, too. Justin usually helps on the starting line as a safety check and running the starting line and sending our drivers. And Haley and Justin are both a big part of running our youth class, helping to get all the courses lined out for the drivers and do a little drivers meeting and go around the course with them all. And they're such a huge part of that, and we appreciate everything that the Hobacks do for the series.
And he looks like he's out the top. Yeah, Justin's gotten real comfortable in that bouncer. Pretty quickly, I might add, this season. All right, see what that time's going to be.
97.124. Not bad, not bad. That is a 4th place time right now. Let me go ahead and give you guys that quick top 5 now that we've completed course 1 for the UTV stock class. Dean Roberts had the fastest time with an 82, followed by Cody Kaysen with an 87. And then we've got Coy Chappell with a 94, Justin Hoback with a 97, and Cohen Ellison with a 98. Those are your top 5 for course 1.
At 97, 98, I mean, literally splitting fractions of a second over a minute and a half. I mean, that's very, very impressive.
Yeah, we've had some great racing so far today. We're only a quarter of the way through, so we've still got course 1. We're about to get started with our SuperGrip UTV Cup class, and then, of course, we'll be back to do it all again with round 2 for everybody. I believe we've got Landon Kahn on the line, who we will be coming back to right after this quick commercial break.
All right, so this is our XT tire, and this is the 35-10-15. It's the biggest tire that we make for a UTV. And this is the road compound. We have 2 different compounds. As you can see, it's kind of hard to squeeze these together. This is going to last you a lot longer if you're just doing trail riding on asphalt to get to the trails. If you're trailering and you're only going to be on trails, then I'd recommend our trail compound. I mean, it's much softer. Grip and grab those rocks really well. That's what the majority of our drivers that we sponsor use the XT Trail compound. But we also have our AMP tire, and this is a 6-ply tire. The XT is the 8-ply. It's got really tough sidewalls, and in fact, one of our drivers took first place in the Bounty Series last race in Hot Springs with this tire. So those are the 2 main tires that all racers use. And you can get any of these tires and the wheels that they're mounted on through Rock Life as well.
All right, we're back here for the 4th race of the season at Rush Off-Road Park in Rush, Kentucky. We're getting ready to kick off our UTV Cup. We got someone, looks like Landon Kahn, I think is what they said.
Yep.
Sitting down there in that race line starting gate. We do have a little bit more dust control, as Clyde put it on the radio, coming in.
Yeah, that was a special thing we ordered for today.
Dust control. The water truck guy was like, yeah, we're not going to use any water in the water truck this weekend. I was like, yeah, I have a feeling that's not going to be necessary.
We are au naturel this weekend with the water.
Yeah, definitely the dust control is doing a great job.
All right, Landon Kahn is kicking off course 1 of the SuperGrip UTV Cup class.
We did course 1 of our UTV stock class a little bit ago. They had some pretty quick times. Definitely doing a little sliding out there. I think our UTV Cup class is also going to do a little sliding. Ooh. Some of these hills are definitely steeper than they appear.
Oh, rocking through the SuperGrip steps.
That is a long, steep climb all the way out that top. Out the top of that hill.
Hey, you made it.
So this should be Landon Kahn if I've got the correct paperwork.
And again, that's a sharp-looking buggy.
Landon is coming down the finish line.
That maroon and black kind of reminds you of That's an 88.972 for Mr. Landon Kahn.
That was a great run for Landon, especially being the first one out of the gate.
Yeah.
We'll see if that run is good enough to help him land on top of the podium.
Yeah. Kind of looks like Wade's buggy with that maroon and black kind of from a distance. You're like, oh, looks like a little miniature Wade's buggy. Whoa!
Oh! Whoa! That's one way to get to the top of the hill.
Oh, yeah. That is
That was impressive. That was a front flip
Yeah.
up the hill.
Yeah.
That's like when you fall up the stairs.
Yeah. Yes. And as far as stopping goes, he stopped in the best possible place.
And I believe this is Travis Cooper.
That is a wild, wild ride.
I'm not sure he even knows what just happened.
All right. We got that Amsoil action shot. Appreciate that, Taylor. Again, coming up in that back end, kind of donkey kicked a little bit. The front end rolls, and luckily he stopped right there. You can see it slide just a tad bit towards that Mickey Thompson banner there. And he's like, all right, do a good job. Do a good job.
How did Cody get up there already?
He's laughing. He's like, yeah. He's like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Sometimes it'd be like that, you know. Kind of very, very cool landing there.
Well, I think we just got our first Skinny Pedal nomination for the weekend.
Kind of a sweet-looking front flip there.
Speaking of Skinny Pedal, Matt, we brought it out earlier.
Yeah.
But remind everybody who is taking home the Skinny Pedal trophy from the race at Hot Springs.
Yes, we talked a little bit about it earlier. Again, you can kind of see that sweet chrome reflection there. There we go. A little bit. Jay Stortz is taking home this butte. Not that he wants to, but he is because he had that quick detached front of his UTV.
Yeah, he utilized that breakaway front end
breakaway
well.
Front end. So not a trophy he wanted to take home, but it was a very crazy thing. For those of you who go ahead over to Jay Stort's racing page, he has the video in there. Like I said, it did like 1.8 million views. It was crazy. And it literally just it's like someone just sawzawed the front of the buggy off. And wild ride. Unfortunately, Jay had a whole bunch of issues with UTV and his bouncer, so he's not going to make it this weekend.
Yep.
Super bummed for him. But
he's got some great stand-in drivers,
he does.
though. He had Clay Kaysen running for him in the stock class, and tomorrow you will see who's going to run for him in the bouncer class.
Yeah, and it's fitting. I feel like it's very fitting. Yeah. So appreciate Jay again. Wasn't able to make this race, which we're soon bummed about, but had a great run. Bouncer did pretty good. Side by side, not so much, but very fun. And again, we wish Jay the best. Jay does a great job for us. Jay's been a fierce competitor for a long time. Races the bouncer class. He has a new one getting built. Jake Pikes, getting all that crap to it for him. I know
gonna be fun.
They were waiting on motor parts for a while, so I think they're not quite done with getting his new buggy done. But again, racing this weekend. Next weekend we'll be racing in Oklahoma, and then we have 3 or 4 weeks off. Hopefully, I'm sure he'll probably be pushing hard to make sure it's done by then. If not, we'll have our kick off our summer break, which is about 5-6 weeks. So hopefully he can get it done by then. But I know he's just chomping at the bit to have that new buggy in his hand. So again, shout out to Jay and Jay Stortz Racing for doing a great job. And again, I know that's a trophy that he's excited about, but not one he really wants to take home. This is like insurance. It's like you want to have good insurance, but you don't want to have to use it.
Yeah.
Because if you're using your insurance, things usually
something went wrong.
Did not go well. But appreciate Jay, and again, great guy in the sport. He's always out there cheering our youth class, keeping them all going the right direction. Does a great job. But again, he did a cool little post about not being able to make it, but definitely had some issues with the big buggy. He was giving some rides to people. He said, "I've never had a 2-seater buggy," so he was giving rides around. They had some issue with the motor, pulled it in, and had antifreeze in the cylinder and blocking it up, and had some metal shavings in there. And he's he said, that's not a motor you want to just mess around with. So he said, we got to tear it all apart, figure out what's wrong. He said, so we'll get it put back together. But So unfortunately, he wasn't going to make it for side-by-side or the big balancer class. So unfortunately, not going to be able to make it, but does have a stand-in for both. And again,
that's when you got to have some good friends that know how to drive.
Yes, and Clay Kaysen is definitely a guy I would gladly let him drive my rig because I think he would have
definitely
no problem sending it wherever he's going to go. So we were down here talking to Clay this morning about what his plan was for today, and had a pretty good time, and I think he's doing pretty good so far. So again, we're getting ready to kick off our Cup cast, so see how that goes once we get our first Cup guy recovered or second Cup guy.
Yeah, I think we're getting close. It's back on all 4 tires now, so that's a good sign.
As it looks like he's putting his helmet back on and goes strap back in, just right on down. So had a little bit of a front flip situation. Again, thanks to our AMSOIL action shot there. They do a great job.
Taylor, do we have that replay again?
Being on the buttons back there for us. Yeah, it was a pretty exciting action
I think
shot.
that one's worth another watch.
Yeah, I like it.
Flipping up the hill.
Yeah. Again, that rear end just donkey kicked just a tail.
And then stuck the landing
and
on the roof.
It stopped right there. So,
oh, man.
Again, appreciate that. Again, thanks to AMSOIL for that action shot. Do a great job with that and very fun. I see Clay walking down this way.
Just before Travis went, we were trying to make a deal on this buggy.
Yeah, we got, like I said, we're 2 drivers in, so about 20 drivers for our UTV Cup class. Definitely got some awesome guys. I think they're going to lay down some quick times.
Yeah, we've got a great lineup in all of our classes this weekend. I mean, we always do.
Yes,
but it's fun to see who we're going to be watching out on the hills.
And the park had a ton of people pulling in. Me and my dad were looking at all the campers already here, and I was like, "This is a really, really packed out park already." And I talked to Evie, and he goes, "Yeah, I guess it's already really, really busy."
Yeah, this weekend is for their anniversary bash, kind of a combination event.
Yeah.
With our racing and what they call their anniversary bash. So I don't even remember how many years this might be for them.
Yeah.
I know it's more than 10.
I think he said 2012. I think 2012, 2015 was their opening, grand opening.
Yeah.
They said we've had something similar to that every, like an anniversary bash almost every year. So we said this weekend, right around the same weekend, is when we usually have our event. And he goes, it usually does pretty well. We have really great spectators. It got a little rainy this morning, so some of them are very brave spectators.
They are.
Came out and watched us as they got a little wet, but
camping in the rain too.
Yeah, camping.
Man, I remember coming out here years ago with the Mega Truck series.
Yeah.
When I used to commentate for them as well. So that's probably been 10 years or so. Woo, time flies.
Yeah, it was. We were asking some of the different events he had done. He talked to the Mega Truck series, having Pro Rock out here, having us there, the National Rock Racing Association, and it's always a good time. Again, then you obviously have a lot of guys who go wheel at night, go out and have a good time. So thousands and thousands of acres here that go ride around. They have awesome trails. They've had Ultra 4 events here before. So I know the Rock Racing TV has done broadcasting for Ultra 4 here, so that's kind of cool to watch.
That survival race that I did was here.
Yeah.
The UTV survival race that Dad and I did, the endurance race. Yep.
Yeah.
Good times.
Whoa,
it was all.
Yeah.
I don't remember how many miles
I'm sure.
The laps were. But that was a lot of fun. Yeah. It was a lot different from what I had done up to that point.
Again, I know I think Ultra 4 was like 1.2 miles, 2.4, something like that. It was a pretty short distance as far as what those guys are used to.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just making laps of the woods. And it was similar type kind of weather-ish. So it was it was a pretty good weekend. And again, some of those guys definitely came to us some pretty banged-up race cars by the end of the event. Man,
you think you're driving fast, and it's like, Star Wars, like pod racing. Like, you're weaving in and out of the trees, you're focused, and you feel like you're going so fast, and then you see lights behind you, and some dude comes, right up on your bumper, and you got to pull over and let them pass, and then you try and keep up, and then you're like, I can't keep up.
Oh, yeah. Some of those guys are just, absolutely.
It was great. I mean, James Cantrell, I know he passed me that way, and I was just like, see you later, buddy. I'm never going to see you back of your car again.
That dude is a monster when it comes to endurance racing.
It was insane.
Big car. He's owned a big car for a while. He does UTV stuff with like Mad Ram 11. I know they teamed up. Him and Cole teamed up and did some stuff with hammers. And that dude's just a monster behind the wheel. He can race about anything. I know he does. Excavating dirt work. He can drive about any piece of equipment. So he can literally hop in about any type of race car and get out there and just have a good time with it. So again, I've seen him do some stuff.
I've even seen him do a foot race.
I believe that. I say he got. I seen him get a pretty wild a couple times at Dirty Turtle Off Road Park.
Mm-hmm.
Back when we used to race there, he would show up and be pretty ornery in a $300 Cherokee. He would send it. So
Good times. Yeah, a lot of memories over the years with all the different kinds of racing we've gotten to do, all the people we've gotten to do it with. So glad to have been a part of that for sure.
Yeah. And again, like I said, the people that tune in the live feed, appreciate everybody tuning in. I know we have a handful of our brave listeners hanging out here on YouTube. We've
got Paula tuning in from Belize.
Wow.
And, from Portugal. Welcome to Hillside Live, everybody. Thanks for joining us here.
That's crazy. I wonder what time it is in Portugal.
I don't know. He could probably tell us.
That's crazy. It's always so cool to me when we see all the other countries tuning in. It's really neat. It's very special to me to know that like this sport it's cool to me and I love it because I got to be at the events. But to see other countries tuning in, it's always very special to me, and I love that. That's very, very cool. And thank you so much for sharing your time with us, and we are very thankful for that.
Paula is looking for David Darnell. David is down at the bottom of the list for course 1. So we've got a few drivers to go yet until we'll be seeing him out on the course.
Yeah. It's a secret. You have to wait. Yeah, top secret. We've done course 1 for the UTV stock class. We're getting ready to cook off course 1 for the Cup Series. Then we have course 2 for those same classes.
Yeah, we're going to do it all again.
Then tomorrow we'll be out here with like all the classes tomorrow. Like it's a lot. Limited bouncer, unlimited bouncer, youth, amateur, what else? Bounty. Like it's a good time. We'll be out here. And I'm sure being this holiday weekend for these guys, I'm sure there'll be more festivities going on as well.
Yeah. So. This whole place will get filled up. The crowds definitely come more on Saturdays. Obviously, Friday is still a work day for a lot of people, and then they might be traveling into the races. So Saturdays is when we definitely see the packed-out crowds. And like Matt said, we'll be running all of our other classes tomorrow, which will mean we'll start with UTV Bounty, and then we'll have our regular bouncer class, then the limited bouncers. We've got our UTV teen/amateur class and our UTV youth class. And then we got round 2 for all of it. So we'll have a full day of racing planned for tomorrow. We'll be starting usually around 9:45, 10 in the morning. We are in Eastern time here in Rush, Kentucky this weekend, so keep that in mind. And, it's going to be a full day racing, so hopefully you guys can be able to join us for some or all of it.
Yeah, it'll be a good day. Again, like I said, I'm partial to bouncer because that's what I race, but watching our youth class is just as fun because those guys and gals are fierce competitors. They do a great job, and to see their enthusiasm even at such a young age, it just really makes me happy, and I appreciate that. And it's a lot of fun. I enjoy that. Looks like they got him off the hill, but he's sitting not too far past our finish line, so we'll probably have to get him towed out of the way. I don't know how safe.
We're getting close. I think we've got Jesse Riley on the line.
Good news is the rain let up. Hopefully it's all past us, and we'll have nice, clear, clean skies for tomorrow.
That would be really nice.
I don't mind a little overcast because that gives you a little shade. You're not sitting in the hot sun baking all day because that's what I thought it was going to be. It was pretty warm in Illinois. We're getting prepped, getting ready to go, loading up, and we were thinking, make sure you have cool weather gear, fans, all the good stuff to keep us nice and cool on our easy ups. We did not think it would be pouring down rain when we got here.
Yeah, you're probably not going to need those this weekend. Yeah. Tomorrow's only going to be in the 60s.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yep.
I remember last year we were sitting on the other side of the Becky Thompson Mountain, and we were watching, and Jack Porter's getting ready to do his turn. He goes over there, and it went from sprinkle to a rain. I would go off 1 or 2 more drivers, and then, speaking of Jay Stewart's, he backs in, and it just turns into torrential downpour.
Oh, yes.
And he's sitting under that race line starting gate, so the water hits that, runs to the bottom, and then drifts off. He said, I was like, somebody turned a faucet on over my head. And he's like, I was just sitting there just waiting my turn, and it was so comical because when I was asking me, will they race if it's raining? I said, we race. Rain, sun, or sun,
I have
we do
people
not
ask
care.
me all the time, what do you guys do if the weather's bad? What do you do if it rains? Yeah. I'm like, we race anyway. We get wet.
Wipe off our mask a little bit more often? I don't know.
It's like we might take a little pause if the storm gets real rowdy for a little bit, and we'll do a little delay. But yeah, we race rain or shine.
Yeah, it's I've seen us pause for lightning. Obviously, want to make sure it's safe for everyone. But yeah, if it's raining, especially if it's a light rain, he'll be like, hey, it's a little free dust control.
Nothing like a wet fire suit.
Yeah.
Sitting there soaking it all in.
Cold, wet fire suit. Not the highlight of your day, but not too bad.
I remember the very first time I ever raced Cable Hill in the Juggy before we even wore fire suits. We were all just lined up out of, the bottom of Cable Hill kind of goes out into a field. Uh-huh. You've been down there. And we just all lined up, just waiting. I was waiting to go, waiting for our turn, and man, it just started raining, and I'm just sitting down there. There's in line with 5 other vehicles probably, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Luckily, I had a roof on the Juggy, but yeah, you're just
that roof probably came in real handy that day.
Soaking wet. It's part of the fun. Something like that.
I've seen Keith with his tarp wrapped around his top today to make sure you keep him nice and dry.
Yep.
He has panels that kind of keep the sun off him, but there are little cracks here and there, so he wrapped the El Tarpo around it to keep him nice and dry.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just get out the saran wrap.
Yeah.
That can work in a pinch too.
Yeah. Anything to keep the water just beating off of you. That's the best part. So, I'll say, looking like we got a course about clear. We also
that seemed like a pretty easy recovery.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why this one seems to be taking a little bit longer, but
I was also trying to scope out our food trucks. They were like, all right, what do we got here? Little nachos, little hot dogs, hamburgers. So
I'm surprised you didn't already scope them out.
Well, I did. I was kind of scoping out this morning as we were walking in.
Okay.
So I didn't go up and check the menu, but I was trying to see what the wrap was on the trucks or what they're called. Sometimes you
I'll put in my order with you before you go.
Okay. Yeah. We did eat some of your snacky snacks this morning, so I feel like that's only fair, right?
You gotta have the snacks.
Yeah. We stopped. We were spent the night in Lexington, and then stopped and got Dairy or Hardee's this morning. Had some biscuits and gravy on the way here. Goofed around a little bit, and we woke up this morning, looked outside the hotel, and I was like, oh man, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be wonderful. A little overcast, but I was 65 and sunny, beautiful day, love it. Mm-hmm. And it started sprinkling. And then it started raining, and then it was torrential downpour.
I saw you rolling in at 11:15.
Yeah, it was like torrential downpour. So he's like, "Can we stop by a tarp?" And I'm like, "Well, normally I bring one in my toolbox, but I didn't have one." So I was like, "Maybe we should." So we stopped and bought a tarp, and we stopped and got some snacks.
I don't think anybody was in a hurry. To get out here this morning in the rain.
Kind of reminded me of Pretty Place. I was started pouring
yeah, that
buckets.
One was rough. Oh, here we go. We are ready with Jesse Riley. With course 1. Uh-oh. Let's try that again.
Get a little bit more momentum rolling into that.
There you go.
That was a long run there, kind of just pinballing around, bouncing through that gauntlet.
All right, here's a slippery downhill. He's got to go into a sharp left-hand turn. He set himself up for it.
All right. Make that turn and get on over the SuperGrip steps.
When he's in the gas, wide open, it sounds great, but at idle, it was kind of crackling a little bit. Again, when it rains like this, the sensors or wiring can get wet. Again, it's just really low RPM. It doesn't sound 100%.
So what you're saying is, Matt, he needs to stay in it.
Yeah. Yes. With this many turns, that's kind of hard to do. But yes, that is the best.
Oh, man, you have to back up one more time, Mr. Riley.
Casey Howe coming down to confirm a few things for his run. I'm sure him and Cooper are down there speculating.
Nobody wants a DNF because you got lost on the course.
I've seen some of our drivers down there speculating exactly what lines to take. And again, everybody has a plan right up until they're sliding into a tree, and then that kind of goes out the window. Plan, don't hit tree. Step 1. Yeah, step 2, win race.
I like it. Simple, easy to remember.
Yeah. Go fast, don't die. It's like the hoodies say,
We gotta give you some love. Let's get him up this hill. Get off here. Come
Dang it. Started out with pretty good momentum there, but look, there's a few little bounces there that have some ledges sticking out.
Let's see if we can get him up this hill.
Dang it.
Try to get a little traction.
What's that little lip there is hanging up. Again, you talked about that kind of not visibility being a major issue. It's kind of, I would say, it's kind of like that fighter pilot mentality. You're looking forward. You can't really see much to the sides. You definitely can't see much on top of you, or definitely can't see behind you. So being able to see forward is really all you have. There are a few drivers who have installed backup cameras, or guys who have put a mirror, like a bubble mirror at the top or on one of the sides, just get a little more visibility. That way you can watch, mainly just for trees when you're backing up.
All right, Jesse, come on.
You don't want to have to backing up, but you do. If you do, it's nice to have a little bit of more visibility.
If you do, you'd rather not back into a tree.
Yeah, if you have that option.
Oh! That sounded a little crunchy, but I think everything's all right.
Yeah. That's a 247.240 for Jesse Riley.
Ooh, way to stay with it, Jesse.
Yeah, and that was kind of a wild ride at the end there.
All right. This is the guy that everybody asked about the calf up the perfection drive line.
Thomas Lohr. Again, they were give him a shout out, CTC Perfection Drive. I know they do a ton of drive shafts for bouncers. They do big equipment. They do all kinds of stuff. He hit like a rock ledge when he got to the top of that hill. His buggy's purple, but it has an accent of gold, and it's very, very cool.
There you go.
We've had Thomas do drive shaft work for my shop before, too. They've done some truck drive shafts. They're pretty good. They can be a little inventive if you have an issue.
There it is. He found a little different path. He's always looking for a competitive edge there.
Woo!
Thomas Laird been racing with us for many years now. He kind of pops up here and there throughout the season. Always good to see him out here.
Ooh!
Nice.
Getting squirrely up there.
Oh, wow. That's one way to get down the hill.
Made the save right there. Keep it interesting for the crowd. Y'all better give him a round of applause.
89.566 for Thomas Lair. That's just behind Landon Kahn with an 88, who is our current leader right now. We're just a few drivers in to course one of the SuperGrip UTV Cup class, and we've got Dustin Medley on the line now.
I love watching this UTV.
Wow, it just kind of floated right up that hill.
Again, watching them use the rear steer is just so much fun.
I don't know if y'all can see it from where you're sitting, but he is killing it with the rear steer, just switching it back and forth. He found that same line.
As far as I know, this is our only rear steer UTV in the series. Dustin's been racing with us since the beginning of the season.
As he hits these kind of like little bunny hills down here, I was talking to a few drivers this morning, and they said, Robert Trainer said, are they jumps? I said, well, it depends how fast you hit them. I guess they are.
Do you want it to be a jump?
I'm like, yeah, do you want it to be a jump?
Dustin comes.
I love the sound of this buggy, too.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely got a unique sound. He comes all the way from Metropolis, Illinois to race with us.
Southern Illinois. Again, just one shot of that hill. Had a nice smooth run there. And as Bree says, it's all downhill from here. Definitely utilizing that rear steer there.
Nice pass by Dustin Medley. Y'all give it up for him.
Ooh.
That's an 80.916. Is that our new leader?
That is our new leader right now. Dustin Medley with that 80, followed by Landon Kahn with an 88, and Thomas Lair with an 89. Those are your top three right now, but Cooper Bentley is leaving the line. Cooper had a second-place finish at our last race at Hot Springs, and he's coming into the weekend second in points, only 8 points behind Clay Kaysen with 285, so let's see what he can do.
Everybody's figured that line out. Thomas kind of showed the way.
Cooper is so young, but he is such an experienced driver. And the fact he's a young guy, I think is even cooler. There we go. Nice smooth run, good lines. Yeah, very, very smooth run. Nice lines going again. Cooper ripping this little downhill section. Again, he is a young guy. He is a young guy, but drives like a very experienced driver. See what that time's going to be.
72.6.
That's a 72.602, I believe. And that was for Cooper Bentley. 642. Okay. That's a 72.642 for Mr. Cooper Bentley. Again, we'll be seeing him tomorrow as well in the money shot buggy.
And Cooper is definitely our new leader right now for course 1 with that 72.
Ooh.
I believe this is Ethan Hunt out on the course now.
Kind of hitting that same little ledge that Thomas Lohr hit up there.
I don't think it cost him too much time. He's still on track.
Wow. Getting rowdy over these bunny hills. He is getting it.
Ethan comes from Marion, Kentucky to race with us, and we're also going to see him in the bouncer class racing Stand Back tomorrow. This side-by-side got a full makeover for the 2025 season, he said, with hydro and RCVs. Ethan would like to give a shout-out to Off-Road Performance, RCV Axles, and Bikeman Performance for supporting his race program.
All right, let's get him down. All he's got to do is clean pass right here, and he's going to be in one of the top.
Nice smooth run going here. He was flying down here on this bottom section.
There it is.
See what that time's going to be.
83.142 for Ethan Hunt. Let's see, that looks like a third place time right now. Cooper Bentley in the lead with a 72, followed by Dustin Medley with an 80, and Ethan Hunt with an 83.
All right, Jesse. Wasted Wages. I like that name on this buggy. On the line is Jesse Phillips.
And this is Jesse Phillips on the line. Looks like that buggy's called Wasted Wages.
Wasted Wages. Yeah, I kind of concur with that.
I don't know. Is it really wasted?
He's just sitting there just staring at this hill.
I beg to differ.
Yeah, I concur.
Getting the courage. He's wanting to jump it. Who wants to see another front flip? Crowd, I can't hear you. That one guy.
I feel it sprinkling just barely right now. It's almost like a mist. Just a nice, gentle mist.
We're just going to ignore that.
Yeah.
And pretend.
Just a little light dust
pretend
control.
It's not going to get any worse.
Taylor says, I'm just sweating real hard. Yeah, it's cold. It's a little. It's like a hot flash, right? I'm just a little chilly. Again, a little dust control, as Clyde would call it. He's okay with that. We're almost about halfway through our UTV Cup on this first course of the 4th race of the National Rock Racing Association down here in Rush Off-Road Park in Rush, Kentucky for their anniversary weekend. Oh, my goodness. Taylor's being ornery.
Taylor, you're fired.
Yeah.
Fired. Immediately hiring new producer.
Yeah.
If anybody knows anyone.
Yeah. Clyde used to try to catch us eating food. That was like his goal.
Can't trust anybody out here.
Wait until you're like taking a big bite of a cheeseburger, or like with your mouth open and cut back, or eating a hot dog.
I'm just trying to sneak some snacks in during my opportune moment here.
I know. You're just being efficient. Being efficient. Ken, this course is just a great looking course for this weekend. It's got lots of ups, lots of downs, lots of turns. It's a very, very fun course.
Somebody get this dog a tennis ball. Let's get out of control.
That dog is having its best day ever out here. We are checking our timer right now. If you guys are wondering about the delay.
Sometimes they can get mud or water. I don't know where to get that from.
That's weird.
Mud or water in them, and they don't work so well. So, again, we can come up with plastic bags, which sometimes can mess with the lasers. So, all right, we got Jesse Phillips sitting here in this race line starting gate. I think we're going to kick stuff off.
Back over to get Jesse Phillips off the line. Jesse Phillips. I don't know how we did this, but we were able to go out of 4 races.
Here we go.
Woo!
I like it.
You can make sure he didn't get hung up at the top there.
Had a nice smooth run going there. No.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
What just happened? I looked down for 1 second.
I know.
Luckily, we have an AMSOIL action shot that we can watch and try and get another view of what exactly just happened there for Jesse Phillips. Now let's check it out. Whenever Taylor's ready. You're definitely fired now. You're double fired.
He's double fired.
There we go.
Nice smooth landing.
Nice launch.
Oh, that was a beautiful launch. Yeah. Yeah.
And then he looks like he just swung a little wide on his turn and ran up the hill a little bit too far and
caught a rut as well, or something there. Maybe a rock that he didn't notice.
Hate to see him spending those hard-earned wages on this buggy.
Yeah, dang it, hate to see that.
I mean, if you name it wasted wages, then what are you asking for? We're gonna come back for he's gonna be back for course 2 though, for redemption. For well invested wages.
Yeah, for well invested.
That's gonna be its new name.
Yes.
Well spent wages.
Yeah.
Tell me what happened just now. Well, we didn't make it real far.
Dang it. You hate to see that. Again, I had a nice smooth landing going there and then just kind of caught a little rut or a rock or something, kind of bobbled it. But again, luckily stopped right there. Pretty quick. They got him flipped back over.
We do appreciate a nice quick recovery.
Yeah, that's what we do. Always thankful for that. Looks like we almost got a course clear. There we go. That's the best, when you can just fire it up and drive away. Like, oh, well. All right. I think we have a course clear now.
All right. For our discussion that's going in the live feed now, I have a question for you guys. If you had a race vehicle, what would you name it?
Ooh.
Since we were having a little fun with wasted wages there.
Yeah.
Once he gets through the finish line, I'm going to call it well-spent wages instead.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I bet I've seen some in the Bouncer Life Facebook group. I've seen some really interesting names for buggies.
All right, yeah. So, guys, what if you were naming a race vehicle, what would you call it? Best name wins. Shout out from me. That's all I got.
On this live, yeah, today.
Right now, today. I believe we've got Braden Upchurch on the line now. Here we go with Braden Upchurch.
Braden's out in his new chassis. Very cool looking chassis with that Wonder Bread iconic wrap.
Representing for the Rock Life team.
I seen Brian over there this morning at our drivers meeting.
Nathaniel Bell built this chassis. You might recognize Nathaniel's name from our UTV Bounty class. This is Braden's third year racing with us. And he credits Rock Life Off-Road with getting him into it. He's got a good run going right now.
Got a real nice smooth run going there. And he's slowly been getting used to this new chassis, doing well. Brought it out to that Winrock season opener. There we go, through the finish line. That's at 79.376, Mr. Braden Upchurch.
And that is a second place time right now. Cooper Bentley is still in the lead with a 72, but now followed by Braden with that 79. And then we've got Dustin Medley with an 80. I see Dylan Dowler on the line. Dylan had a fourth place finish at our last race at Hot Springs, and he's coming into the weekend third overall in points for the Cup class. He had a little misfortune racing in the stock class just a while ago, so hopefully we can see him with a nice smooth run now. This is course one of our SuperGrip UTV Cup class. We're about halfway through our listed drivers.
I've noticed a lot of the drivers, after several of us were rolled over, we watched several drivers definitely choke up a little bit there. have a little bit less descent at that first big jump. Dylan is ripping through it now.
Well, he's already made it further than he did in stock class. Unfortunately, he did get hung up on, backed up into a tree and then just wasn't able to get off the hill without a little assistance. But it looks like things are going much better for him now in Cup class. Ooh.
Nice, smooth run.
71.146.
Wow.
That is our new leader. Pushing Cooper Bentley with a 72 down to second place right now, and Braden Upchurch with a 79 in third. Nicely done. There was no dilly-dallying the course.
No dilly-dallying that time.
None at all. Looks like we've still got about half a dozen drivers left for course 1 of the SuperGrip UTV Cup class. I think we're waiting on Clay Kaysen to make his way to that race line starting gate.
I know.
Clay's about to put those sharp-looking Mickey Thompsons to good use on this course.
Yeah, he's definitely going to try to knock that number 1 position down a little bit. Again, he doesn't normally run our stock class with us, but he did this morning running for Jay Storts. So he's definitely feeling it right now. Is he going to be our new fastest time?
Time to beat is a 71.1 from Dylan Dowler. Clay did take the win at our last race at Hot Springs, and coming into the weekend, he's first in points with 293, an 8-point lead over Cooper Bentley right now coming into this weekend.
He is definitely on the gas right now.
Getting just a little swirly up there.
Go, baby, go.
And he is pinballing.
I was just getting ready to say that. He is literally just pinballing through those trees right now. Again, is that going to be fast enough to have our new leader? He is trying. That's a 75.350.
Not bad at all, but that is a third place time right now behind Dylan and Cooper.
Again, just sliding around the mud, I think, cost him a little bit of time there, but definitely had a smoking run and a very, very smooth run as well.
All right, Casey Howell racing right here in his home state. He's ready.
And here we go with Casey Howell on the line now.
Casey was down here earlier checking with Clyde just to double check some of the lines he was looking at taking to make sure they were going to be legal. And that is not uncommon in our series. Guys definitely want to go through and look and make sure it's definitely going to be a smooth line, but you definitely want to make sure you stay inside the barriers. Casey absolutely just getting it down here in this flat section. Drifting around the corners. He's moving. That's going to be a quick time.
Casey had a third place finish at our last race at Hot Springs and is coming into the weekend fourth in points with 241. And that's a 73.852, which is a third place time right now, pushing Clay Kaysen down to fourth. Dylan Dowler still in the lead with a 71, followed by Cooper Bentley with a 72, Casey Howell with a 73, and Clay Kaysen with a 75. And Matt Myrick is on the line.
Ooh, again, you've seen a handful of buggies jump on the top of that, but definitely a little more conservative than after we had a rollover. So, and it's a very smooth landing. The last 3 or 4 buggies have had super smooth landings. Again, kind of a steep drop in here, and then immediately a hard left turn.
And Matt is coming into the weekend fifth in points with 229. So he's having a couple of nice consistent races so far this season.
That's a 73.739, which is 1/10 of a second faster than Casey Howe, who ran right before him.
Holy cow.
Matt and Casey literally swapping times. That is very, very impressive.
73.8 from Casey, and now a 73.7 from Matt. Wow. So that means our top 5 right now is Dylan, Cooper, Matt, Casey, and Clay.
First time out, just picked up.
Scott Gary on the line.
I heard this is a new chassis, I believe. I don't know if it's brand new total or brand new to him.
Or new to him.
I heard this is just picked it up. That's always fun in a new vehicle, trying to get it figured out, feeling it out.
Kind of looks like a DC.
I was thinking that front end
there.
Yeah, that front end, the way it kind of curls around. Up and over those super grip steps. Looks little bit taller chassis, too, giving you a little more headroom. As a guy who's rolled over, I also appreciate that.
Got to protect the noggin.
Oh, yeah. All right, nice, smooth run. See what that time's going to be.
That's an 85.261 for Scott Gary. Not bad, not bad.
All right, we got David Darnell sitting down on that race line starting gate.
David Darnell is on the line.
I see the names y'all are coming up with in here. I like it. Mudtalica is pretty good. Here we go with David Darnell.
Getting that little ledge there, kind of donkey kicks a little bit. I was looking at some of the bouncer courses, and they are so many up and downs for tomorrow. I'm excited because I think tomorrow's going to be a very fun day for the bouncer class. Both limited and unlimited both. I think will be a very good time. And again, watching these guys, UTV and bouncer both come down and have a hard right turn or a hard left turn is definitely challenging when you're putting it in race pace.
So David Darnell said it took him about a year and a half to fab this chassis and build it all out. It's a mashup of an XP turbo lower and suspension, Pro XP motor and electronics, and Turbo S transmission and suspension, and RS1 diff. A lot going on in there.
Yeah. I know a lot of guys are running that RS1 diff. They have good luck with it.
This is his second season racing. Also, Maddie Darnell, his daughter, is racing in our UTV team class.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Looking like we had a quick little flash of fire and a little smoke there, but
the buggy died. I'm not sure if it backfired or what the deal was. Sounds like you got it fired back up. And he's right on the edge of that ledge there. Not a place you want to be stuck at. There, you see it kind of lunging forward. Looks like there's a lot of smoke. I don't know if that's a belt or what. Looks like they can roll him back a little bit. A tree behind him might stop him. Just get in position until they get him recovered. Because I don't know if he's going to get it fired back up or could pull forward maybe again. Not sure exactly what's wrong with the buggy. You hate to see him being that far through the course.
I know. He had a good run going.
Nice run going and just not be able to get a finish out of it. It stinks. And I think we've all been there, too, to be right there at, just almost be able to knock it through and not quite be able to get a finish out of it. Clyde just yells, "Hey, dilly-dally." Dylan's like, "What?" Clyde's over there teasing on him. Again, a lot of the drivers coming out looking at the course, watching what's going on, because this is our first course of our race today. We'll take a quick intermission, shut down, and come back with our second half of the day. This is course 2 for our UTV Stock and UTV Cup class. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us today. Hopefully it's nice and cozy where you're at. It's a little bit rainy here, so hopefully it's nice and cozy where you guys are at. And why they get him pulled off, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back right after these messages.
So we have 3 different beadlock wheels that most of our guys use. We have the teardrop, we have the twisted, and then we have the twisted black. So we have a machine version of the twisted, and then we have the black. We have these in 14 and 15 inch, all 4 lug. But we'll be coming out with, in addition to some of the tires I was talking about earlier that we're coming out with, we're going to have a new line of wheels come out. Some of those will be 5 lug to keep up with some of the new manufacturing that's happening in the UTV world. But the beadlock wheels that we're selling right now, Rock Life and those guys carry these as well. So right now we're having some specials on them. So I'd recommend if you need a set of beadlocks, you're not going to find any cheaper than those.
If AMSOIL products are engineered for this kind of punishment, you can trust them in your garage. Shop by vehicle to find everything you need for your ride. Get the protection you demand and performance you deserve with fast, free shipping from AMSOIL.com.
Mickey Thompson Tires announces a new American mud terrain legend, the new Baja Legend MTZ. 35 different sizes, and one is just waiting for your rig. The Baja Legend MTZ.
All right, we are back. It looks like we have Madison King sitting in that race line starting gate, and I think she may wrap up our day. I was trying to listen to the running order to see if they had any. I'm sorry, wrap up first course. Yes, thank you, Taylor. She'll be wrapping up course 1. And then we'll take a quick break and shut everything back down and come back with course 2. All right, they're saying clock is hot.
Now, ladies, cheer on.
I see Nathan King in our chat. Let's go.
Get it, girl.
The Madison family buggies are very iconic and very hard to miss. They both stand out very well. Madison's is pink and neon green, and Nathan's is black with the orange Dukes of Hazzard theme. Very cool. Madison is getting it right now.
Madison also races in our bounty class, and she is currently our only consistent female driver, aside from, or I should say, in our UTV bounty and cup classes. We've got lots of young lady drivers in our youth class and our teen class as well.
78.
So that was a 78.823 for Madison King. I heard we got DC Thompson down there. I'm trying to look through the crowd to see the nose of the buggy sticking out.
DC Thompson on the line.
Here we go with DC Thompson. And I believe DC is going to wrap up course 1 for us.
All right, I'm hearing on the radio, we're going to let DC run. We're going to go ahead and shut it down, and we'll bring the production right back. They're going to try to get all the runs in for course 2 before the bad weather sets in. So close. Again, DC, no stranger to absolutely just sending it. He had an issue where somehow his tune got deleted at the last race. So he literally went and swapped computers with another buggy and used that buggy's computer for his tune. Didn't do a horrible job, but you could clearly tell there was some performance in the buggy. That DC's been racing with us quite a while.
DC went to RBD with Clyde and CJ back in 2013 and got hooked. He's been part of the race fam for quite a few years now.
That's a 150.579 for Mr. DC Thompson. Again, I believe that will wrap up course 1 here for the National Rock Racing, 4th race of the National Rock Racing Association here at Rush Off-Road Park in Rush, Kentucky. Again, we've done course 1 for the UTV stock class. We just wrapped up the UTV Cup. And again, after Bree gets her times rattled off here, we are going to go ahead and shut down the live feed. And then we're going to restart it and kick off course 2 immediately after. We usually do a quick intermission. This time they're going to go ahead and shut it down and start right back up, mainly because we're trying to get both courses squeaked in before our storm set in. Hopefully get that done for the crowd's purposes and for the racers.
For everybody.
For everybody.
We're doing it for everybody. Dylan Dowler had the fastest time on course 1 with a 71, followed by Cooper Bentley with a 72, Matt Myrick with a 73.7, Casey Howell with a 73.8, and then Clay Kaysen with a 75. Those are your top 5 from course 1. Like Matt said, we're going to go ahead and shut down real quick, but we'll be right back up with round 2 for everybody.